Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to HermitPack. So I have been doing a little bit of work inside of the forestry factory and I think I've come up with a design that I like. We've got just chiseled smooth stone for this inset piece at the bottom and the pillars, but then this is chiseled andesite and then we have an andesite floor up above. Now this was kind of my idea from the beginning, was that we were going to have like a balcony looking down from the upper area to the lower area. And then we'll have a bunch of machines here around the outside, and then I think we'll have a bunch on the inside as well. But I've set up our carpenter here that had water in it, and this is now automatically getting water, and I also have the thermionic fabricator set up here. But this thing does not have power at the moment, so yeah, that is just kind of I'm not too worried about powering it until I need to. But this carpenter is set up with water going into it, and we have power and everything, so all that it would need at this point is items put into it. Now these next two slots here, we are going to be moving on to producing some of our stuff to actually start breeding the bees here next. So first off, we need to get some oil to make an apiary. So the apiary is made with some slabs, planks, and an impregnated casing, and this takes 8 logs and 250 millibuckets of seed oil to produce in a carpenter. Well, the seed oil we can get by running just about any seed through the squeezer. Now, at the moment, I am running all of my wheat seeds through the mechanism crusher to get biofuel to power the base and generate power for everything else. So instead, we are going to be using beetroot seeds. We have a lot of these, and it wouldn't take us much to set up a beetroot farm, and that will allow us to have more than one type of use for seeds without having to hope that they get subdivided properly or anything like that. So we need to make a squeezer to make that oil. So let's see if we can find that here. So squeezer, here we go. So this takes a sturdy casing, glass and tin, and there we go, squeezer. Now we're also going to want to make another carpenter. So that one is the bronze instead of tin. And what we're going to do, we're going to put our squeezer here, and then we're going to put the carpenter here. Now I have some fluid conduits from Ender.io, and this is what we're going to be using to transfer the liquid between these two. So I'm going to put this on here. We're going to set this to extract, always active. And then we're going to put this guy on here and put this to insert. Now the only thing that's left is to supply these guys with power. So we'll just run the power conduit right underneath them, and then we can teleport back out of here. I love how that works. But so now all that we need is to get some seeds in here. Now we can fit up to 9 stacks of seeds in there at a time, and so I'm just going to grab a whole bunch here, and I'm going to drop off some of this stuff that I don't need anymore. So we're going to grab a whole bunch of seeds, and we're going to put those into the squeezer. So I grabbed one too many, that's okay. But so this is going to slowly create seed oil. It's 10 millibuckets per seed, and that will be going now into the carpenter. And you can see we've got 40 millibuckets, 50 millibuckets in there already. So now we need some logs. Well, Wandering One and I were doing a huge amount of cutting on our jungle, and we have 16,000 jungle wood. So this is what we're going to be using to make our impregnated casing. So we set up our recipe, and then we'll just put all of those logs in there. I'm going to completely fill that thing up, and then we won't have to worry about this anymore. And I just threw a whole bunch of andesite into my inventory. That's not what I wanted. So this is going to take a little while to get enough seed oil. Well, it looks like we're almost there right now, but one thing, we do have the ability to put some of these circuit boards in here, and I'm not sure which one of these we want to put in. So we have a couple of things here that could possibly work. I think the blazing tubes will give a speed increase, but it also increases the power, but the speed increase would be nice. Emerald tube increases speed at half the rate of the blazing tube, and that looks like about it. We do have the electric choke, which doesn't do us much good. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make 4 more of these blazing tubes, and we'll try to get this to go faster at the cost of more power. But you can see we have our first impregnated casing here now. So we're going to go ahead and get this over here and make an apiary. So where is the apiary? I think it's up here. Yeah. So the apiary, and yeah, we're running out of wood slabs, which is fine. But this is going to be where we start with our bees. So I'm going to set this thing down out here. Now we need to go grab our bees from the main base, and we also need to set up an automatic cycling thing from the output to input on the hives. So yeah, I'm going to grab these bees, and we also need some item conduits, and then I will be back and we'll set this up. So I've got my apiarist chest over here. It's got all of the bees that I have found so far in the world, whether it be through hives or chests or whatever. And yeah, we've got a lot of really weird ones. I don't know how I got this sinister one. I think that was out of a chest. But we've got some interesting ones here. But we're going to start out by just breeding some bees to get some drones, because we're going to need the drones later on. So we're going to take some meadows bees, and what we're going to want to do is set up an item conduit here. We're going to set this guy to extract, always active, and then we're going to set this one to insert. And what that will do is when the business is done here, these bees will come over here, the conduit will pull it out and cycle it back around and put it back in here. Now it is saying that it has no flowers, so we do need to grab some flowers, and these will spread very rapidly as time progresses. So we're going to put 1 flower down next to the hive. Oh, that was that weird Botania flower. Okay, we don't want that one. Let's try a rose. Or a poppy. Not a poopy, a poppy. Okay, so let's grab a poppy, and we'll put this down over here. Now this is an easy way to get any type of dye that you could ever imagine. So now we have everything. We have bee suits. What? Full APR suit will protect you from all negative bee effects. Well, there's no effects on these. So everything is good here. The bees are working, so now what we want to do is put some torturinos around this. And this will greatly increase the speed at which these guys are working. So we're going to set these up to 400 times speed, and now we should see this should be dropping fairly quickly, because this is now 1200 times speed that this hive is running at. So this is going to have to run for a little while. We'll get a whole bunch of extra meadows drones. Now we have quite a few of the sturdy casing, or not sturdy casing, impregnated casings here. So we'll be able to set up some others, and what we want to do is get all of these bees that are hive bees. So it's things like forest, meadows, wintry, I think modest is one of them. There's marshy. The ender we won't be able to do because I think they require the end biome. But yeah, I'm going to go through and get all of those set up so that they're all being cycled. We want to work with pristine stock because ignoble stock will die off. And so I'm going to get a whole bunch more of these apiaries built and get them all set up, and then I will be back. So I have all of the bees that are pristine and can work in this biome in apiaries now doing their thing. And yeah, we've got them cycling around and making honeycombs now. And so the next thing is to figure out how to process these. Now, one thing that we do have here, I've got 3 torturinos back here. I would love to be able to have more, but oddly enough, I am out of nether stars. And when we moved the server over to CreeperHost, we tore down the wither skeleton, or the wither skeleton farm and the wither boss farm. So both of those need to be set back up. But yeah, that's just kind of going to slow things down here a little bit more AFK time, I guess. But we have here a whole bunch of the combs. Some of these have come from the hives already. Some of them have come from the apiaries, and the majority of them have come from hives. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab all of those, and we are going to make ourselves a centrifuge. So that is right here. This is a sturdy casing with copper and glass. Pretty simple recipe. And now we need the stone so that we can build another section to our area here. So andesite, yeah. So we need some andesite as well. I guess we don't really need the andesite, we just need the other. So I think that is the dent. Yes. Okay, so this will be that big. And we'll take 2 in the center and the centrifuge here. So this thing needs power, and once again we could use a socket on it, or a circuit board. So we need some power conduits, and we are almost out of the enhanced power conduits. I had no idea we were getting that close to running out of all of this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and run this over here, and while we're at it, I am going to fill this water in. We don't need that anymore. So let's run the power around the corner here, and that will get us right up to it. I'm just going to break my way through the corner here. And then on the other side of this, we need to then put a pillar, and we need some torches here. So really these torches should probably be up on the pillars, but yeah, whatever. And we're going to need to break this one out. We'll put the pillar here, and then let's teleport not up to the roof. That is kind of annoying sometimes. So let's teleport up on here. We're going to extend this up to the ceiling. Now, unfortunately, these are dark steel iron bars, and I don't have any more of the dark steel. But so now what we can do is we can take our honeycombs and throw them into the centrifuge. It's going to spin them around, and we will get the various items out of it. Now it looks like we didn't get anything out of the first one. Oh, it can spin them multiple times now. Interesting. So, yeah, that's going to take a while to run. Of course, the bees are doing their thing, and we're going to need to get a lot of these, so I think we're just going to let this continue on doing what it's doing. I'm going to keep gathering combs and things like that. Start getting some resources together, mainly drones, so that we can continue on in forestry. So I'm going to get that done. Be back after a little while. So I'm back at the main base, and I've been sitting AFK grabbing beetroot seeds, and we have all these beetroot left over. Now, one thing about the beetroot is that we can use it in the mechanism crusher to make whatever the biofuel. Now, our wheat seeds give us 2, but the beetroot gives us 4. So if we set this in here to export beetroot, we'll be getting tons more of this biofuel. So I think we're going to want to set up an actual farm for this beetroot and probably set up a whole bunch more of these biogenerators, because right now with the 2 remote refined storages off, we can't even touch our power usage. We're running at about 2,000 RF just running the machines here inside the base. And even though we are increasing on bread and biofuel both, I don't really like the idea of these culinary generators having to run all the time to keep the power supply up. So I think I'm probably going to be making more of these biogenerators here really soon. Probably move these culinary generators over here and just make a solid wall of biogenerators here. But that will make tons more of our biofuel, and yeah, we have a good source of both power and seed oil because of those. Now, I have been continuing to get more and more of the combs, and it's giving us an awful lot of stuff. So I just ran some rocky combs through a little bit ago, and it gave me some granite and diorite, and then the combs that came from the ender hives gave us this pulsating propolis. Now this stuff we can run back through the centrifuge again, I think. Oh no, this stuff can be crafted directly into the pulsating mesh. And this pulsating mesh, after we get 5 of those, can be made into an ender pearl. It's not really a very effective use of our time, though. But yeah, I have been continuing to grab all of the items that I've been getting out of the apiaries, and I'm just dropping everything that we get into here. And I'll just continue doing that, and as time goes on, we'll start to find uses for the beeswax and the honey drops and things like that. Some of the other stuff, I'm not sure that we're going to be finding time for. The silky propolis, we are going to be wanting to get that, because later on, some of these bees will be having negative effects, and we want to have, I can't remember what it's called, it's a suit made out of silky wisps, that the apiarist suit. And when you have a complete set of this on your armor, it protects you from those negative effects, so that would be a good thing. But I've got my beetroot here set up in between these two, and I increased the range of both of these torcherinos so that both of them are hitting this, so I can just sit here and right click on this, and oddly enough I can eat the beetroot. Okay, but this gives me tons and tons and tons of the beetroot seeds and beetroot in a very short order. So you can see already we have a stack and a half, or a stack plus of the beetroot and more than a stack of the seeds. So that's going to go really good. I already have over 2,000 of the seeds in the quantum storage here, and we are half full of seed oil here. I went ahead and shut this down because I had 44 impregnated casings in here. I don't know that we're going to be needing that many anytime soon. Eventually we will be putting up alvearies instead of these apiaries, and they take a lot of those, but it doesn't seem like that beetroot does much in the way of saturation. But yeah, I'm just going to continue on doing this for a while, and I can throw the beetroot through here. That'll end up in our refined storage system, and then that will run through to be making biofuel. So yeah, we are making good use of all of the items that we're getting here, and so I'm going to continue on doing this, and here in a little bit we will finally have enough drones that we can start doing some crossbreeding. So I've been kind of watching this hive. For some reason, it is throwing some weird bees. So this bee started out as a forest bee, and after a little while it started throwing common bees, and then it started throwing cultivated bees, and now it's up to cultivated, and we just got to noble. This is just weird. What is this one doing? Well, that's fine. We will take that. So the next step after noble is majestic, and I think that's a common, and we do not want those forests in there. So it dropped back a tier. I mean, it's just bouncing all over the place. Now, if you're wondering why it's going so fast, I brought the compressed Torturino over here to help out with this. But I have set up the Beetroot here to be automatically collected. Now, the seeds are going straight to the refined storage system, not to our quantum storage over here, so we are going to have to get that later on. But we are getting tons of garbage drones. I don't know what to do with them for sure, but it looks like we have a couple of them that are stacking now. But yeah, we're getting a lot of garbage drones. I think I need to just keep working with this particular hive down here. And I just picked up some beet stuff. So, yeah, there's more noble again, and this time around it looks like it might be keeping the noble. We can hope. So I'm going to keep working with this. So the sequencing is it's 2 hive bees, so like forest plus rocky or forest and meadows will give you a common. Then the common plus one of the hive bees gives you a cultivated. The cultivated plus a common gives the noble. And after that, I am not sure what the sequencing is. May have to look that up. But I'm going to keep working with these, and who knows, maybe we'll have jumped ahead a couple of steps and we've got noble bees already. So I'm going to figure out for sure. Well, let's just see here. I forgot. We have JEI. So the uses on the noble bees. Noble plus cultivated gives majestic, and then noble plus majestic gives imperial. So, yeah, we are going to need to get a purebred cultivated next, which is common plus a hive bee. So I think we might want to get set up for getting some common bees next. So the common bees, we're going to need 2 hive bees to do this. So I suppose we'll take some forest drones, because we have quite a few of those, and a meadows queen. And we're going to set that up in here. We'll let this one finish out. Let's turn this off so that it doesn't... actually, I shouldn't have made that disabled. But so now we're going to put the Meadows Princess and the Forest Drone. And we want to take this one at a time here, because this may produce a common right off the bat. And if it does, we need to analyze it and figure out what its characteristics are. So it did make a common drone, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the Forest Princess and the common drone and put them back together. And yeah, I'm just going to keep letting that do its thing. It looks like we are actually doing fairly good on these nobles. Looks kind of like they're getting purebred, and we're getting dripping combs from these guys. That's pretty good. So the dripping combs, these in the centrifuge will give us honeydew. Honeydew is good for glistering melon now. And ambrosia, but we need royal jelly for that. We're a little ways away from royal jelly. So yeah, those guys are doing good now. They finally stabilized. So this time we got the meadows back out of it. So let's go ahead and drop the forest back in there. And yeah, this is going to take a little while for me to get the common in here, and then after I get the common, I will work on getting a cultivated as well, but I'll have to get a lot of drones of the common first. Okay, so we got forest this time. So yeah, this is just a pain in the butt messing around with this stuff. So I am going to get the commons and the cultivated to go along with our noble that jumped ahead without us, and then I will be back. So I decided in these drone setups that I could use the ignoble queens, because once the drones start coming in purebred, it doesn't matter. The drones are not what carries the information or the longevity of the strain. It carries the information. So I thought that was a good idea, just to, let this do its thing. So I did get a purebred common here, and that is perfect, because now I can use this to make more commons, and so I can take regular common drones, drop them in here, and eventually they will convert this queen into a purebred common queen of the exact same characteristics of this drone. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to cross that with whatever it was supposed to be, some type of a meadow, or some type of a hive bee, and that will give us our cultivated bee. And our noble bees, oh my gosh, we have almost a stack and a half of drones already. So that's working really good. We have meadow drones stacking. Interesting. But yeah, it's going to take me a little while to get all of this set up, but hopefully we will get a whole bunch of drones going here really soon. And already we have, this one is producing good drones. So yeah, I think I will probably keep this cultivated drone. But these others, this is actually the purebred forest drones here. But yeah, that I might just let that run until this queen dies, and then cross this with another ignoble stock. That might be the best idea here, and I think we're going to move this pristine queen up the tree now. So I think probably do that right away. I'm going to come over here and grab one of my ignoble princesses, which we have tons of them. Eventually they will all disappear, but we want to go in here on the common. So let's get this in here. Now once again, same thing as before, eventually we will get a purebred common queen, and we'll just let that run until it runs out of lifespan. So these guys are doing good, and we're ready to go to the next one. So first off, I need to change that so that we don't end up pulling the stuff out of there. Now this one, we're just going to set this to maximum range. That way we can have as much as possible. Okay, so we have our common princess. Let's go ahead and cross that with some forest drones. So that should give us the cultivated, and we'll just see what we get out of that. And in the meantime, we're going to drop those guys in there. So we have a whole bunch of garbage drones again. So we did not get what we were looking for there. Let's go ahead and try another round, see if we can get our cultivated out of here. And we might be able to use the cultivated drones to force the queen into the appropriate genetic band. Because see, now we have a forest one. So yeah, I don't really like that too much. I guess we can try crossing it with a common now. Once again, it's going to be a little bit of just repeated cycles going through here, trying to get the bees to change to cultivated and stay cultivated. So I think I'm going to just keep working on this. Oh, we got a cultivated princess, so let's go ahead and put a cultivated drone in there with it. We'll see what we get out of this cycle. It'd be great if it stays cultivated, but chances are it's not going to. They usually don't first time around. So let's see. Yep, went back to a forest, so let's cross that with a common again. So I'm just going to keep doing this. Eventually we will get this guy to the cultivated so that we can cross the cultivated then with the noble. And what were the... Oh, no inventory space. Whoops. Man, we are running out of storage space for bees. Really bad. So, yeah, I'm going to keep working on this, and hopefully in the next episode we will be able to get to our higher tiered bees that will give us the stuff for our alvearies. So, yeah, that's going to be for next episode. So, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about the bees or anything else that I've been working on of late, go ahead and leave that down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!